Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone viewers left fuming over worst finale in television history. The highly anticipated finale of the Paramount Network hit aired on Sunday, with viewers tuning in to see if Case Dutton, Luke Grimes, would follow through with his plan of saving the ranch by giving it away. As fans had expected, he sold the property to its rightful owners, the Broken Rock Indians. Case sold the land for the price his ancestors paid when they first took it in 1883, $1.25 an acre. In total, the largest ranch in Montana sold for just $1.1 million. Elsewhere in the episode, Beth Dutton, Kelly Rayleigh, kept her promise and killed her brother Jamie Dutton, Wes Bentley. Beth and her husband Rip Wheeler, Cole Hauser, then bought a new ranch as they started a new chapter in their lives. The finale caused outrage among viewers, with many flocking to X to share their disappointment. Dumb ending #Yellowstone #YellowstoneTV. One fan fumed as another blasted. That was probably the worst final season in television history. One person even suggested the Yellowstone finale was worse than the controversial Game of Thrones ending. It is official. Game of Thrones is no longer the worst final season of any TV show ever. Yellowstone has taken that award. What a disaster of a final season. #Yellowstone #YellowstoneTV, they wrote. Another person echoed, 3 good seasons followed by 2 of the worst in TV history. I bet the Game of Thrones guys are thrilled at what Yellowstone put out with this final mess of a season. #YellowstoneTV. A fifth viewer posed, I felt like it was entirely too rushed. The whole season, the guys leaving, everything. The plot with Jamie and the kill for hire was way too rushed. It ended way too quickly and easily. Just all around felt like it was a lazy, last-minute put together. Someone else slammed the final showdown, writing, the big final confrontation between Beth and Jamie kinda lame as hell #Yellowstone. However, now everyone was angry over the final episode. Yellowstone TV finale was perfection. Beth killing Jamie and Wright bringing him to the train station, Casey giving the lad back, and all of the cowboys honoring John Dutton was the best ending ever. One fan praised. Another said, just wrapped up Yellowstone. Damn, that was a good final season, while someone else added, beautiful final scenes of Beth's and Casey's ranches. Thank you, Yellowstone, for wrapping things up so beautifully. Yellowstone's gripping saga of power, family loyalty, and the rugged beauty of Montana has captivated millions of viewers since its debut. Fans have followed the Dutton family's trials and triumphs with bated breath, cheering their victories and mourning their losses. But as the highly anticipated series finale aired, what should have been a grand send-off turned into a storm of disappointment. Viewers took to social media and forums in droves, branding the finale as the worst in television history, leaving many to question how a show of such caliber could stumble so spectacularly at the finish line. From the outset, Yellowstone's finale promised high drama. Teasers and trailers hinted at explosive confrontations, long-awaited resolutions, and a fitting farewell to the characters fans had grown to love. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Would John Dutton hold onto his sprawling ranch? Would Beth's vengeful streak find closure? And would Jamie, the black sheep of the family, finally meet his fate? Yet, as the episode unfolded, it became apparent that the answers were either underwhelming or non-existent. One of the biggest grievances among fans was the lack of closure for key storylines. Yellowstone has never shied away from complex, interwoven plots, but the finale seemed to abandon many of them entirely. Viewers were left scratching their heads over unresolved arcs, such as the conflict with market equities and the battle over tribal lands. These storylines, which had been painstakingly built over seasons, were either brushed aside or concluded with unsatisfying brevity. They spent entire seasons building up these conflicts, only to sweep them under the rug in the finale, one fan lamented on Twitter. It feels like they didn't know how to end it, so they just didn't. The character arcs, too, were a point of contention. John Dutton, the stoic patriarch whose unwavering commitment to his land has been the heart of the series, seemed oddly sidelined in his final moments. Rather than going out in a blaze of glory or achieving a hard-won victory, his character faded into the background, leaving viewers questioning whether this was the same man they'd been rooting for since the pilot episode. Meanwhile, Beth's fiery personality, a hallmark of the show, felt diluted. Her long-standing vendetta against Jamie reached a crescendo that many found unsatisfying, with some describing it as anticlimactic and outright lazy. Jamie's arc, however, garnered the lion's share of criticism. Over the seasons, his character's trajectory has been one of betrayal, desperation, and ambition, a powder keg waiting to explode. Yet the final's treatment of Jamie felt rushed and unearned. In a twist that many saw coming but few found satisfying, his fate was sealed in a manner that felt more like an afterthought than a climactic moment. They've spent 5 seasons painting Jamie as this tragic, morally ambiguous character, wrote a Reddit user, and then they just threw it all away. No nuance, no depth, just a cheap resolution. Even the cinematography, a staple of Yellowstone's appeal, failed to deliver in the finale. The sweeping vistas and breathtaking shots of Montana's landscape, which have served as a backdrop to the Duttons' drama, were notably absent or underutilized. Instead, the episode leaned heavily on dimly lit interiors and static scenes, stripping the show of one of its most visually striking elements. It didn't even look like Yellowstone, one fan noted. The landscapes were as much a character as the Duttons, and they just disappeared in the finale. Adding to the frustration was the pacing of the episode. At just over an hour, the finale felt rushed and disjointed, cramming in major developments while glossing over emotional beats that could have lent the story weight. Moments that should have been poignant or impactful were instead hurried, leaving viewers disconnected from the characters' fates. It felt like they were just trying to get it over with, one fan wrote on a Yellowstone Facebook group, like they were even interested in giving us a proper goodbye. The backlash was swift and vocal, with the finale's reception polarizing even the most devoted fans. Social media lit up with memes, critiques, and impassioned essays dissecting where the finale went wrong. Hashtags like #YellowstoneDisaster and #WorstFinalever trended on Twitter within hours of the episode's airing. Some fans blamed showrunner Taylor Sheridan, accusing him of losing touch with the show's essence. Others speculated that behind-the-scenes tensions and production issues might have contributed to the lackluster conclusion. Critics, too, weighed in on the controversy. While some praised the show's ambition and acknowledged the difficulty of crafting a satisfying ending, many echoed fans' frustrations. Yellowstone's finale feels less like a conclusion and more like a shrug, one review read. It's a disappointing end to a show that's been nothing short of iconic. In the days following the finale, discussions turned to the legacy of Yellowstone and whether its ending tarnished the series as a whole. For many fans, the finale's shortcomings were a bitter pill to swallow, especially given the show's consistent quality over the years. Some vowed to revisit earlier seasons to relive the glory days of the Dutton saga, while others declared they were done with the franchise entirely. "I'll always love the first few seasons," one fan wrote. "But this finale, it's like they took all that goodwill and threw it out the window." Yet, amid the uproar, there were those who defended the finale, arguing that it was true to the show's themes of inevitability and loss. "Not every story needs a happy ending," one viewer commented. "Yellowstone has always been about the cost of holding on to power, and this finale reflected that." While these perspectives were in the minority, they highlighted the divisive nature of the episode and the varying expectations viewers bring to a beloved series. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: Yellowstone's finale has cemented its place in the annals of TV history, though perhaps not in the way its creators intended. Whether it's remembered as a bold, unconventional conclusion or a missed opportunity will depend on who you ask. For now, fans are left to grapple with their disappointment and debate the ending's merits or lack thereof in countless online threads and conversations. In the end, the uproar surrounding Yellowstone's finale is a testament to the impact the show has had on its audience. Few series inspire such passionate reactions, and fewer still leave such a lasting impression, even in controversy. As viewers mourn the missed potential of the finale, they'll also carry with them the unforgettable moments and characters that made Yellowstone a cultural phenomenon. And perhaps in time, the sting of disappointment will fade, leaving behind a legacy as complex and enduring as the Dutton family themselves.